Live 1 hour chill stream for Thursday, the 30th of March, 2022. Do 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 do. I can't remember the name of the theme song. Oh, here it is. No, wait, that's the wrong one. That's the right one.
You gotta think about a time long past, long before all this. The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing strong. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Thank goodness, how'd it get so late? Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and dream. Just let your mind float downstream. Sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. The city is bright, but the stars keep growing dimmer. The dishwasher runs, and you find forks from dinner. Killing lights, charging phones, setting alarms to make their tone. Winding down, closing blinds, for rest for tomorrow when there's time. Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and dream. Just let your mind float downstream. Sprawled out in the moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and dream.
Howdy, old Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And that was a new noise. It sounded like a minecart thunder. I'm not sure what that was. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Hope everybody's holding together today. It's been a challenging week here in Nashville, and I'm going to do my best to entertain y'all for an hour or so, or at least give you a place to hang out. But, yeah, we are back here. Apparently, where are we? That's definitely a minecart noise. Why is that turned on? Is Tango here? Did I forget to turn this off? Was I somehow hearing that noise through the portal? Okay. Unclear what's going on. Unclear. The guy did come fix the internet. The internet's fixed. We did some tech check streams. Stuff is good there. Oh, boy. We had a stream earlier today, which is why we're already at 70% Joe Pasty. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat, which I forgot to copy and paste into here earlier. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty exhausted. Oh boy. Oh, yeah, and we've got some ender pearls now. Let's just, I don't know, put those down at the end for right now. I don't know what to do with them. We're gonna free up some inventory slots here. Hey, there's extra shovels. That's Silk Touch and Silk Touch, so those are not good. We should probably take those with us when we leave, actually, now that I'm thinking on it. Oh, there's pork chops. We need those for reals. My inventory's a mess. Everything's kind of a mess. That's fine. We have our extra things here. Wait. Oh, we do have more rockets. I thought I was out of rockets, but apparently I'm not. So that's good at least. I was flying around a lot earlier, trying to load in chunks for the Bobby mod. Theosist, congrats on the new job. Okay. So if y'all... Of course it's dark now. I was going to say, if y'all want to see the progress I made the last few days here, I'll show you real quick. Also, do we have anybody from Finland in the chat tonight? I saw some good news out of Finland today. That was good. I'll give everybody from Finland a minute to respond. I know it's a big day over there. Also super late at night at this point, so they're probably not even paying attention. Okay. Well, anyway, I had a tweet that I wrote for people from Finland earlier. We'll just go ahead and share that here. Saying, I might not be the first Tennessean to welcome Finland to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, but I am the least likely to butcher pronouncing Tervetuloa. Tervetuloa, y'all. So, Tervetuloa to all of those out there in Finland joining us today here on the HermitCraft live stream. I don't even know what this is. I'm so tired. But, yeah. I don't know. Let's see. So with very small amounts of snow, the most important things that we could do would be to start building some sort of pillory cliffs up here that kind of are extensions out from this. Yeah. No green glass paint in the offhand. Not today. My inventory is a wreck. Sorry. Okay. And now we're out of blocks. Okay. So one thing I have been experimenting with is turning up my render distance to obnoxiously high levels. And in order to do that successfully, I had to go and load a bunch of chunks by flying around. Dang it, I am not landing on this very successfully here. Okay. So it turns out that you can just really you can adjust the render distance slider and then just crank that way up. So let's just enjoy HermitCraft for a moment with view distance set to 256 chunks. Because that can't possibly be a terrible idea. I'm gonna Alt-Tab out so I can open my task manager and watch my memory on the computer freak out. This is the first thing I've done in Minecraft where I'm actually like memory constrained. My computer has 32 gigs of RAM. It does have 2 slots free though, so I might buy another 2 16 gig sticks so that I can render Minecraft out further in the future. So we'll just give that a second to pop in here. But yeah, I've been combining this with replay mod. So actually trying to move around at 256 render distance or view distance doesn't go well. I'll say that. However, the thing is that if you move around at 32 chunks view distance, with the mod loaded, and then go into replay mod, and then render it out. I can render it out at 160 chunk view distance before I start having real problems. Setting it to 256 here is kind of a stunt, because it's going to practically max out once I run out of memory soon. But it's fun to look at. So you can see there's B-Dubs' place back there, there's Pearl's saucer. Stuff is popping in the distance there. Ooh. I want to look around a little bit, but I know that's a terrible idea. If I move the mouse at all, it'll start causing crazy problems. I just need to let everything just load in. Using a lot of RAM. But you can see stuff is loading over there in the perimeter. There's Impulse's shop starting to load from the top down in the shopping district. I wish I had a spyglass. Yeah, I'm at the same altitude as a few things. So there's kind of going to be some smudges in the sky for that reason. Michael says it's incredible to see how the world is actually pieced together. That's the thing, is like the last few days I'm just like, I just need to step back and get some perspective. I'm going to start really aggressively working on my base again next week, but like this week was a very challenging one for a lot of us here in Nashville, and I've just been trying to just reflect and take some time to just look at stuff and think. And wait, what is that thing? I don't even know what that thing is. That's outside the perimeter. I thought that was part of the perimeter, but oh well, my face is covering it anyway, so you can't see it if it's a spoiler. That's good. Okay. So the perimeter is slowly loading behind my face. Maybe that is Doc Skybase. I don't know what it is. Did I spend time with Jevin today? No! Jevin has not been around much. And that's okay, because... yeah, I need to just find him at some point. But I'm just taking some time to enjoy the fact that I can tell Minecraft to render out 256 chunks on a server that I'm actually sitting on right now. When the light, if the sun sets and the lighting starts updating, this is gonna be nightmarish. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna let stuff continue to load in, which it is doing. Like, it is still loading in chunks. Like, there's a bunch of the perimeter that isn't in yet. There's False's cable car just loaded in. More parts of the perimeter are loading in. Jevin's streaming his Hardcore World right now. Well, then he's not here, is he? The match with Cleo, I think, is embargoed until Sunday. I might be mistaken about that, but that's what I think. Oh, wait, that thing is inside the perimeter. It's just at a weird angle. Okay. I was confused briefly. But yeah, the rings around False's castle are starting to pop in. But they're at a very oblique angle. Lost Cult Music says, I feel like I need to switch from watching on my phone to watching on my TV. I mean, maybe, but your TV is still going to... Like, the stream is only 1080p. So, I mean, maybe you'd be able to see a little bit more detail, but, like, everything is so tiny. This gives you a sense of, like, where things are in relation to each other, but, like, the resolution is still not very high res. Okay, False's castle is starting to pop in. I see the wings of her wasp are there now. I see Scar's castle has popped in. The mountains over by the donut are starting to come in. The Crassle, like parts of the top of the Crassle are there. Borealis Laura says, this is so trippy. Neon Wyvern says, I want one of those panoramas where you can, like, zoom in. Yeah, overnight last night, I did a 4K render of flying through this at, I think, like, 160 view distance. And I want to try and do a 250 6 view distance render tonight, but what I was experimenting with before, it kept crashing, and so I'm still tweaking things. Uh-oh, it's about to start getting dark. It's going to update all the lighting on all of these chunks, possibly. Actually, I don't know if it does the lighting updates on the distant chunks. Those might... Okay, is anyone near a bed? Also, is the Discord chat taking tonight off? Or am I, like, is my Discord messed up? I don't see anybody in Discord chat. Is this what it's like to be one of Tolkien's elves? Yeah, maybe. Options, video settings, render details, sky colors, sky, stars, I don't know. Pile colors, oh, I don't know. No, it is rendering. It is doing lighting updates. Huh, that's actually really impressive. Hey, welcome Queen Dark Lady in the Discord. No, that's fine. I was just curious. Yeah, the Discord is for Patreon patrons. At the $5 plus level, I'll go ahead and post a link to that. Yeah, we've got 3 chats running: Twitch, Discord, and YouTube. That's really interesting that it's simulating the lighting data for chunks that I don't have, that I flew over at different times a day. Lost Cult Music Tips 3 and says, even at 1080p on a big screen, it's worth it. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you very much. I just put that on the abacus. I realized I could hold that up. Let's hold up the abacus so people can see it. That puts us now 17 away from our next face camera expansion milestone. Can I cook ramen on my GPU? This is actually, my GPU is running cooler than when I'm running folding at home. PayPal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat is where tips are welcome. Oh, you can see the string of lights over the Christmas village there in the donut in the distance. That's like really crazy, right? The frame rate I'm getting right now is, if you look at how quickly the stars are moving, this frame rate is like 1 frame every 2 or 3 seconds. But, yeah. Okay. I'm going to take a screenshot real quick. Is it still loading chunks in, is my question. Or has it loaded out as far as it's going to go? Because I think it should be loading chunks further out still. It's just, there's diminishing returns. Yeah, it's still loading chunks in. Okay, yeah. Those mountains just popped in over there. Can you see my mouse cursor? Yeah. Back there behind my mouse cursor, some chunks just popped in. Because I was going to say, I think the pinball machine should load in if we're patient. Yeah, that right there is the corner of my pinball machine. I think. This is the Bobby Mod Hufflepuff cookie. Still rendering the top of iBuy just came in. Yeah. Okay, so the deep field, the top of my pinball machine just came in too. Okay. So we're going to give it another minute or two to see if more of my pinball machine comes in at least, because it definitely should at that. We haven't crashed the computer yet. How are we doing for RAM? Task Manager. We're doing okay. Okay, that's good. Devin Krates says, yeah, we haven't crashed the computer yet. I want to see how far we can push this. But like, I'm just really enjoying just taking a little bit of time to just appreciate the server. Yeah, we're still setting up. We're busy. We're loading in chunks, Astrobytes. I set the we're standing on top of Decked Out. And I set my render distance to 256, and it's taking a while to load in the chunks from that we had cached, because the server won't send chunks from that far away. But I've got a mod called Bobby that lets you cache chunks when you fly through them, and then it'll render them in the distance later. And they don't really recommend you go above 64. But I thought, what's better than 64? Maybe 256? So, but it's taking a lot of time to load in. The more distant chunks are going to be a bit. So, but you can see part of my pinball machine, the ELD and deep field, have started loading in the distance there. Did I use an NVMe drive to load the cache chunks quick? I do have one of those, but honestly, like, Minecraft is so not designed for this that just I don't think there's a hardware bottleneck here so much as like it's just not sure what it's processing data as quickly as it can. But we are feeding Minecraft several orders of magnitude more chunks worth of data than it should be handling. This is one of those like, don't try this at home, kids, type experiments. Okay, yeah, the F under deep field just came in. Oh, there's the back. So more of the back box is starting to load. I mean, yeah, chunks are still definitely coming in. I think a little bit more stuff over by falses just popped in as well. So that's fun. Yeah, it's more visually obvious when parts of the pinball machine pop in because like they're so much lighter than the background. Hufflepuff Cookie says, I'm on Pocket Edition. I have the option for 4, 6, or 8 chunks. Well, you know what? We're here to push limits, here to push boundaries. Good luck with your presentation, NJ. Okay. Is the building floating behind I by Ethos? That's Cleo's floating thing back there. Yeah, we can see Cleo's base now. Wow. I'm standing on top of Decked Out, and I think I can see Cleo's base from here. The render distance is set to 256 Shalom. We're, what does the Task Manager CPU look like? Are we just maxing out one core? Great question. If I go to Performance, CPU. Yep, that's exactly it. Yep, the CPU is basically maxing out one core. Almost no disk usage. Yeah, it's just the CPU is trying to process and load in all the chunks, and Minecraft is not optimized for loading this many chunks, basically. We're pushing the boundaries of what Minecraft could do. Just because I think it's funny, mostly. Okay, we're going to come back here real quick. I'm going to hit escape and hit F2 to get another screenshot. Just in case this crashes. Whoops. I want to make sure that we get a few screenshots along the way. I think if we're patient, we should actually see Cub Fans Total Chaos load in the background, because that's like back here somewhere. Would I be able to post screenshots to Twitter later? Maybe. I'm not sure if Twitter's gonna do them justice. I might post I might link them on my website, or I might host them on my website. Excuse me. I might host them on my website and link them from Twitter, because I don't know how this is gonna go. The sky smudges near False's base are like glass in the sky. There's glass over Jevon's base to stop it from snowing. And there's some concentric rings over False's base too. But yeah, this is a lot of chunks. Oh, chunks are still loading actually out by False's base. There's more Castley stuff popping in. I just saw it. And there's stuff loading behind the perimeter as well. Yep, another tower or two just popped in by False's. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go up tonight, Borealis Laura, because, yeah. But yeah, thank y'all for joining me to just take a few minutes and just appreciate looking at HermitCraft with me. Just looking at the beautiful Season 9, all the work everyone's done in one place. It's so cool. If you're enjoying this experience, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Hey, welcome to Deleted Tactics. Just as a reminder, we are 17 away from the next Face Gamer expansion milestone. And chunks are still loading in back behind the perimeter there. We've been standing here for at least 10 minutes. This is the first time I've said to 256 that it hasn't crashed. But once again, it hasn't crashed yet. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if I duck out of the way here, you can kind of see the chunks popping in behind the perimeter there. Welcome, Aurora. Glad you could join us. Okay, let me make sure I can see that better. Cool. Neon Wyvern says, here's hoping it doesn't crash. Well, I mean, like, if it does crash, we'll have learned something. Anton Staff says that this is approximately 6.7 billion blocks. Well, we're culling a lot of them. The culling mod is doing a lot of work here. Because it's choosing which blocks to not render, which is 99% of those. Dave says, it's nice of you to assemble this furniture that was foisted upon me. Sorry to hear that, Dave. Okay, we got some of that plateau on the far left loading in. I don't know if the desert and mesa beyond Cleo's base are too far away. But I thought that maybe we'd see total chaos. But that might just be a little bit too far. The pinball machine reaches to Y320. Yeah, whatever the max. I think it's 319 is the max height. But yeah. Distant Horizons that could help as well with its level of detail. Yeah, I'm not sure if Distant Horizons plays nice with Bobby. The machine dwarfs everything else but decked out, which I'm standing on right now, I know, right? Oh, we got some hills loading in back behind the donut and False's base. So yeah, chunks are definitely still loading. I think I saw a little bit of movement behind the pinball machine. Yep, maybe Total Chaos will render in. The chunk loading is slowly creeping out toward Total Chaos. Even though each chunk out there is now like 1 or 2 pixels of forest. Well, something's loading up behind the donut. Ayo, it's Griffin says, whoa, what is this? I'm currently logged into the HermitCraft server, and I set my view distance to 256. Does the culling mod cull in RAM data or rendered blocks? I think it's on the rendering side. I think it's on the GPU. Yep, we're using Bobby mod to load 256 chunks out because I kind of just wanted to take some time and reflect today. Just enjoy how far we've come this season, and this seemed like an interesting thing to try. And somehow it's shockingly functional. This is working better than I expected. Welcome Milo Slaps. Milosh Lops, maybe. Milosh Laps. Glad to have you. Lauren tips 10 and says, thanks for the meditative experience. Thank you, Lauren, for supporting the arts and my show in particular. That puts us 7 away from the next face camera expansion. And Matthew sends another 10. That puts us 3 away. Thank you, Matthew, as well. So, here we go. It's time to expand Joe. Oh no, it's the most obnoxious face camera. It's the Tony Stark helmet cam. But, so now you can truly experience HermitCraft through the eyes of a hermit or my mouth. I don't know. What up, fellow kids? But yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's still loading in there in my headband. There's chunks loading by Decked Out there. Borealis Lore says, I brought this up myself. Yeah, you did. Everybody who's been tipping thus far has been tipping to make the camera more obnoxious. But at this point, the camera can't actually take up more of the screen. It will continue to get more transparent, though. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. This has been lovely to play Animal Crossing New Horizons too. Hey, I'll show you that horizon right there in my hatband. But yeah, let me duck out of the way again. Yep, a few more chunks out by False has just popped in. So, like, oh, and there's some popping in by Docs still. I think we must be, I would like to assume we're probably nearing 256 chunks of distance, but I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know how far away. Is anybody here good at HermitCraft geography? I'm literally on top of one of the spires of Decked Out Borealis. I'm like on top of one of the spires, just looking out at the server. Yeah, I don't use Forge, so that's okay for me. If you use Forge, that'll be a problem. Is that Good Times with Scars Castle in the back? Good Times with Scars Castle is kind of slightly in front of my pinball machine. I think the castle you're seeing on the far right is... I think you're seeing on the far right up here. That... Oh, this is a cool way to point at things. This is False's castle. Whereas the shadowy area behind Grian's thing is Doc's perimeter. See, there's the perimeter right there. That's the stupidest thing to show. Stupidest way to show things. Okay, this might be as far as it's gonna load. I'm just gonna give it a minute or two. I feel like maybe there is... No, it's still putting chunks in, isn't it? Yeah, it started to load some sort of hill or something right here-ish. Yeah, oh, it's definitely still loading chunks out toward Ethos. It's getting the jungle in now. Yeah, things are still happening to the left of the pinball machine for sure. And I bet that valley by the castle over... I bet this valley is gonna... I think there's chunks back there that haven't loaded in yet. Oh yeah, I'm seeing that now. Yeah, exactly that valley I just pointed at. It's like they're popping in like 4 pixels at a time. Like an entire chunk is just popping in as a few pixels over there. That's wild. The castle in the middle is the Crassle. Yeah, that's... So Ren's Castle is that one, which is now Cleo's after the Empire's crossover. Yep, more of that hillside and mountainside. Oh, and we're coming into another night. I should take a screenshot before night turns, or before night falls too much. I don't want to move the mouse, because if I move the view angle at all, the culling software is going to have to recalculate everything. And we don't want to do that. Centauratron says, I think my computer would explode trying to do this much. Yeah, most people's would. That's why we're doing this with my computer. Devin Crowdy says, I would assume things would be far enough to load until the ocean under Atlantis is level. Yeah, that's true. That horizon is not level there. So, in theory, I am really just shocked how well this mod handles the light changes. So, like, as it's starting to get dark now. Are we gonna... How many days until we start getting hit by phantoms? Just out of curiosity, y'all. Like, are phantoms gonna be a real problem for us, like, right now? Because trying to fight phantoms at half a frame a second of rendering... 3 days for phantoms? I think we're okay then. After night 3. Okay, so this is night 2. So we definitely can't do this for a whole nother night. Hey, Stephanie Hall. We are attempting to stand on top of Decked Out and render the server live rather than in replay mod with a view distance of 256. I am live on the server right now. If I place a block above my head, I'll be fine. If I look up Queen Dark Lady, the culling engine will discard all the render data from so far, and we'll be setting ourselves back by like 45 minutes. So I think I'm going to not do that. I think I'm going to not look up. Just as a treat. Yeah. But look at that. Look at the server at night. It's HermitCraft at night. Welcome, Embry Mage. Glad you could join us. We are doing a rendering experiment. I'm live on the server right now with the Bobby mod installed, which lets you cache chunks from before and set your render distance way higher up. So you only get up-to-date data about the chunks immediately around you, but it uses the cache data of chunks from further out to render other stuff. So right now we set the view distance to 256 chunks just to see what would happen. And it's still trying to render all the chunks. So we'll see. We're going to give it until the morning. Because chunks will keep popping in overnight, but we won't really be able to see them too well until morning actually hits. It does look like that valley where the valley next to False, where Iskal and Stress were set up, should start popping in more now. Centauratron says, look, Squidward, I'm rendering HermitCraft at night. I'm assuming that's a Wild Thornberries reference, because I never really watched that. But it has that kind of vibe. Are we looking towards spawn? Yes. Yes, we are standing on top of Decked Out, looking over Mumbo and Grian's, over Scars, over ZAFs. You can see my pinball machine. Cleo's base is currently the most distant thing. Is Total Chaos starting to pop in yet? Not yet. Total Chaos should be popping in behind my pinball machine if it's actually within render distance, which I'm not 100% sure if it is. It might be just slightly more than 256 chunks. But yeah, oh yeah, you can see my cursor while I've got the... Yeah, so Total Chaos should render in right here whenever it does. And it hasn't yet. I'm still seeing Skybox. What's behind the perimeter? Behind the perimeter is basically a bunch of wildlands. I flew over them earlier to get them to pre-render. Can I post the screenshots? We'll take once to Twitter once it renders. This is so cool. I can. I might end up posting them on my website and then linking them on Twitter so that they look... Because I'm worried that Twitter's going to compress them beyond the point of being good looking. If we change the resolution, if I wanted to take the screenshot at 4K... Okay, here's what we're going to do. Is once daytime hits... Oh, wow, it's rendering a mountain range even further out than I realized just now. Okay, so it's definitely still doing stuff, because there's a whole mountain range right here above and beyond the donut. Literally above and beyond the donut. It just popped in another mountain range. So clearly giving it another few minutes is doing something. The problem is we're getting diminishing returns where the chunks that are further out, it's taking the same amount of time to pop in a new chunk, but we're only getting 1 or 2 pixels. Is that the Christmas village to the right, or is that one of the bases? This, the thing I'm moving the mouse past right now, that's the Christmas village. You can see the arc of lights in the donut. Yeah, I set my view distance to 256 with the Bobby mod while I'm live on the server. Ayo, it's Griffin says there should be a mod which puts the chunks further away in a lower res. I mean, it does, but the problem is it has to sort out what's in those. The game has to evaluate the contents of the chunk to figure out what to tell it to render either way. Like, we're just trying to load too much stuff into memory, and the game's kind of freaking out a little bit. I think that we've basically hit our max, but the sun should be rising soon based on the way the sky feels like it's lightening. I have the moon rendering turned off, and if I change that, it'll restart the whole rendering cycle, so we're not going to turn it back on. We're not... No, shaders is not going to go on, because that's... I don't have shaders set up right now. But as you can see by the stuttering stars, we're currently rendering at like 1/3 of a frame per second, or 1 frame per 3 seconds. Oh, boy. Oh boy. I'm overloading the encoder in OBS. Okay, we're gonna turn the face camera off for a little bit because OBS is freaking out. It's competing too much for the processor. So he says we don't have shaders on it. It looks so good. No, this is vanilla. This is literally vanilla graphics, just with... I say that. It's got a ton of mods installed to let me view further out, but it's the vanilla textures and lighting engine. Well, the lighting engine was rewritten for performance, but to behave identically but perform better. So what I'm worried about, though, is if I expand the window, will it restart the entire render? Because I want to... If I had a spyglass and use it, would that affect the rendering? Maybe, because the culling software might recalculate everything. There's a lot of moving parts here that we haven't experimented with. There's a lot of moving parts here that we have not experimented with, and that I'm excited to experiment with. I'm going to learn a lot, but I really don't know what to expect in some ways. I feel like a few pixels of stuff have loaded in over by Total Chaos. Even though Total Chaos itself hasn't loaded in yet. Okay. Yeah, you can see the B-Dub's hologram head right in the middle, basically. Embry Mage says, I never realized how close together everything is. Yeah, that's part of the fun of this. Is we're getting to see everything close together. Yeah, definitely loaded more chunks along the horizon. In here. Ooh, we are overloading the encoder. Yeah, OBS is like actually freaking out at me and flashing a bunch of errors it doesn't normally flash. OBS is just like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing it wrong. Oh boy. This is part of the fun of experimenting with stuff and pushing boundaries, is we find out what OBS yells at us for. Encoding overloaded, encoding overloaded. Oh boy. You know what? I'm gonna actually deactivate the camera entirely, because yeah, that might help. Let's turn off the text. So we're gonna save some compositing. Actually, yeah, and then we can switch to this, which is Minecraft only as a source. Okay. The encoder is still overloaded. Oh my gosh. Yeah, OBS normally only screams at me for stuff like this if I'm really going nuts with layers. I've never seen OBS freak out because the encoder is overloaded when I'm not breaking OBS. I've never pushed anything else so far that OBS started panicking like this. If I go to performance, GPU temperature is still okay. It's at 60 degrees Celsius, not too bad. But video encode, dedicated GPU memory usage is at, oh man, I am like using all of the GPU's memory right now. Oh, because it's the culling software. That's what it is. The culling software is like using 10.5 gigs of GPU memory right now. And OBS is like, I need a tiny bit of GPU memory, please. Just a bit. Yeah, Total Chaos is starting to pop in there. Yeah, okay. Oh, this is... Kaname's Coco Pie says, OMG, this is so much. Yeah, I was looking at this and I'm like, okay, I'm actually doing something that would justify, if I had 64 gigs of RAM, I'd be able to use it. I am... It's not funny when OBS acts like that. That's a sign that it's really distressed and not being treated well. It's not being provided the resources it needs. Is my audio still coming through okay? AOH Griffin says, turn the render down, go fly around so Bobby grabs the chunks and max the view again. No. The chunks are... Bobby definitely has the chunks, Griffin. It's just taking like 25 minutes to load them all in. Okay, I was worried that if OBS's encoder starts panicking, my audio would start like crackling or doing something weird. But yeah, oh, Total Chaos is absolutely loading in. It's... and there's Ethos Base popping in too. Yeah, we have been sitting here... We've had 2 nights in Minecraft, and we're starting the 3rd day. So what is that, 25 minutes? 25 minutes of waiting for this to pop in. But yeah, Total Chaos is loading. Oh my gosh. That's wild. We're doing it, people. We're looking at Total Chaos live from Decked Out. Whew. That sure is something. Dory Bristy says, why? To see if we can. To some degree, yeah. Okay, so there's a little tiny horizontal slice right here that has popped in, but the stuff in front of it hasn't. So that means that there's still stuff over here that's still loading. Okay, yeah, that is starting to come in there. And there's still some more pieces of Decked Out that are, yep, that little peninsula there is starting to load in and the ocean around it. Yep, that's smoothing out the water behind Cleo's. Yeah. This is insane. This is... But you know what? Like I said, I wanted to just take some time and get a sense of perspective on the server. Look at what we've accomplished so far. Is Total Chaos on the left horizon? It's directly above the L and the D on my deep field. This is Total Chaos, that little rectangular cube thing. I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor. Oh, you can't. Dang it. Okay, it's, if you see the L and the D on deep field, it's above that. Yep, and the rest of the peninsula over by Total Chaos is starting to pop in as well. Okay. I'm like terrified this is going to crash at any minute. So I'm going to try and get another screenshot. Whoops. Wrong button. This makes things look big and small at the same time, says Shun Macaroon. And Embry Ramage says, heck yeah, Mad Hatter. Blah, 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 blah. 1 FPS screenshot, I know, right? Okay, just as a quick reminder, if you're enjoying this interesting take on what HermitCraft looks like from the top of Decked Out across toward my pinball machine there, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Stephanie L says, this would make a nice wallpaper, but at night. Well, we are probably going to stick around. You guys said after the third night is when the things start freaking out, or when the phantoms start spawning, right? You know what? I don't know. I don't know if I have a totem out, actually. If I get knocked off of this, I might just die. After the third night. So not on the third night. Okay. Yeah, because there's still some weirdness out with the jungle over by Ethos. But some of that might be that I think that I flew through a lot of that, but I might not have gone that heavily over there. Nation of Naj says, after this, are you going to do one for the other side back toward where you're standing now? I mean, this has taken 45 minutes to render, basically, so we don't have time for a 1-hour stream to do a second shot like this. I mean, I guess I could show you some stuff that I was experimenting with earlier today. Is this the right one? Here, let me show you a video that I did earlier. This was last night, I guess. But this one I hadn't loaded in as many chunks, so... But yeah, so this was a replay mod render I did using the Bobby mod. And so as you can see with replay mod, it comes out a lot smoother, or at least it would. I'm not sure how much all the other stuff I'm doing in the background is interacting with this. But yeah, so I've done some experimental video using this mod. But the render distance wasn't quite as high as what we're doing now. And I hadn't preloaded the same number of chunks. So, but I'm also rendering this without clouds this time. So, yeah, we're learning a lot here. But yeah, so this is a pre-rendered version of this, but with fewer chunks in the cache. The video I'm showing was at 160 chunks. Right now, I've got it set to 256, though. I'm gonna let the video still got like 30 seconds left, so I was gonna let the video keep playing for a minute. The sky is kind of messed up in the video. That's one of the reasons I turned the sky off on the thing I'm rendering now. But yeah, so this kind of shows you what we could expect to see out past Cleo's there. So, and then now we're back to the live view of stuff popping in. Looks like one of those IRL drone shots. Kindle says, I'm glad I told you about the Bobby mod setting. This looks phenomenal. Thank you. Yeah, I do appreciate it. Fake Circon says, I just popped in and suddenly I have better idea of where the Frost Citadel was than I did before. Oh, I'm sure you do. Just got another screenshot real quick as it starts. Okay. How long is nighttime on the server? 10 minutes or is it 7? 10 minutes. Oh, boy. Yeah, X's base is on the other side of False's. Because I think it's still going to be loading chunks in, but it's... Where's the games area from Charity? Oh, that's behind False's. You can't... It's blocked by False's Mountain right now. I did cache that area, but you can't see it from here because of the... It's occluded by False's base. Okay. Daylight's a full 10 minutes. Sunrise and sunset night are inside the second 10 minutes. Okay. Hey, welcome, Bear. This is kind of a weird one. Okay. Yeah, I was hoping to wrap up in about 5 minutes, but I think we need to get through the next day. If I can not be killed by phantoms tonight, if y'all are wrong and I get killed by phantoms tonight, then I'll be glad I grabbed that one screenshot when I did. I want to grab another one right now. Okay. Just in case I get knocked off. You know what we have turned off is mob sounds. Music and sounds. Hostile creatures. Look at the frame rate on the slider. Yeah, but you can definitely see Total Chaos lit up there like the sun. Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced that chunks are still loading at this point. We might have actually maxed out. Yeah, there's a reason I'm not pushing 4K on OBS right now. Hey, we got a tip rolling in. Thank you very much to Laura, who tips 12 and says, I was thinking today there wasn't enough Outscott country in my life. Thanks for the great stream. Thank you, Laura. Let's see, 9 and 12. That's going to get us 7 away from the next face camera expansion. I know I turned the camera off because OBS is freaking out at me right now, but we can turn it back on for expansions. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. But yeah, the way this mod handles lighting and night and day changes is super impressive. I'm really shocked how good this is. Welcome, Booberg. Yeah, we installed the Bobby mod, and then I flew around caching chunks for like 2 hours earlier today because I had a HermitCraft meeting. So during the meeting, I was just flying around loading chunks for Bobby mod in the distance all over the server. And so now we have set our view distance to 256 from the spires at the top of Decked Out. Just looking down at everything. And it's something. But yeah, it's hard to tell now that it's night if it's still adding more chunks. I was assuming that the horizon would be more linear, but that might have to do with the chunks that I cached earlier, because I don't know how far into that ocean I flew. The PvP murder box is very lit up, but the amusement park is dark. Well, you know, please exit through the gift shop. It's downtown Scarland is closed for the evening. Some things are much larger than you realize in videos, like the sheer size of the pinball machine has me in awe. Thank you, Embry. Yeah. It's really helping me kind of, yeah, just thinking about this, like looking at it. Scarland is now closed. You know what? Maybe a chunk did just pop in next to decked out. Or not decked out. Total chaos. Oh, I'm going to be screwing these things up forever. I think that little peninsula, like one tiny pocket of pixels popped in. It's not loading behind me. It's only in front of me. Yeah, that's why I'm like, if I turn the mouse at all, it's going to have to throw out all of its culling calculations and start over. And so we don't want to, do that. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any new chunks pop in for a while. So this might be the best we're gonna get with how much I've flown around. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wait for daylight, and then I'm gonna get one more screenshot at 1080p. Then I'm gonna try maximizing Minecraft by double clicking the title bar and hoping it doesn't restart the whole calculation. Hopefully changing the resolution won't cause a complete recalculation. But if it does, well, we tried. That's okay. That's okay. No harm, no foul. Worst case, the client will crash. Well, that's not a great case either way. Now I can make my parody House of Cards intro, though I don't know what for. That's an interesting idea. We'll come back to that. Strawman. For my parody House of Cards, of course, says Fake Zircon. Yeah, okay, nailed it. Yep, that's it. You're right, Fake Zircon. That's what we'll use it for. Thank you for sorting that. It seems to me, though, that if we had actually finished loading new chunks, if we had actually finished loading new chunks by now, the frame rate should have gotten better. So normally when it catches up, the frame rate improves, and the frame rate hasn't improved at all. In fact, it's getting worse. Like, so much worse. Welcome to my slideshow about HermitCraft. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're maxed out here. Well, I'm really glad we loaded in the entire Total Chaos perimeter, though. Or not perimeter, peninsula, though. That looks way better. Maybe interesting to set the max FPS to 4. Would that matter, though, Kindless, if we limited the FPS at this point? Because, like, if we're not hitting 4 anyway, what does that save us? I'm not sure that that does anything for us at that point. I'm watching the cursor blink rate, and it does not seem correct. Oh my gosh, that cursor blink is so wrong. I viscerally know it's not right. Kindle says, for right now, I would change no settings. When rendering, there are a lot of partially rendered frames that are eventually skipped. Interesting. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Now that it's daylight, I feel like this is basically full light. Or is it? Maybe it's still getting brighter. I've been looking at this so long, I can't tell anymore. Okay. But yeah, this looks like it's basically where it's going to be. So we're going to re-click on Minecraft window. We're going to hit escape. Function to hit F2. Okay. Now, we are going to double-click this. Oh, that is gorgeous. Hit escape. Function F2. Oh my gosh. I'm looking at this in full 4K. This image, y'all. Wow. Okay. OBS is probably freaking out because the Minecraft window changed in size, which it's not supposed to do in the middle of, like, OBSing. So we're going to bring that back down. Did that, like, expand for y'all, too? Just showing the top corner. The pinball back box looked great. You can see the top left corner of the sky. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here. Okay. So now that we've loaded in basically as far as I think we're going to load in. Like I said, I kind of want to, like, sweep my head slightly. You know what? This is what the mouse look thing. If we hit function D, it just slightly looks that way. Womp womp. You can see it frantically loading in. Something just popped in behind Doc Space. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe a mountain or a hill or something? But yeah, so you can get a sense of... I think because it just unloaded a bunch of stuff when we looked away, it's like, oh, look, I've got all this extra RAM now. I'm going to load this part in real fast. But yeah, you can see it's kind of loading things in, like, in bits and pieces, not all at once. Not like the full vertical chunks like it used to. Yeah, it loads the mountain like a checkerboard, exactly, Sconnect. You know what, while we let this load... Whoa, oh no, that was a mistake. Oh, boy, a mistake. I was gonna say, while we let that load for another minute or two, I'm gonna do last call for tips. If you enjoyed this particularly weird stream, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. It instantly gets higher FPS when I look down. Yeah, because there's nothing down there when I look down compared to the chunks when I look out. There's a lot going on out there. But yeah, okay. I think we should, yeah. Well, should we mess with it? Part of me is like, I'll just let that mountain load in. But I mean, that could take another 20 minutes. And we're probably not going to do that anyway. Part of me is like, I just want to do a quick fly through that I can turn into a video from here. So the problem is we've been on the server for so long. I'm not sure how good an idea this is. Okay, so yeah, you can see more of False's base popping in there. Okay, you know what? The House of Cards thing that y'all were talking about. Actually, yeah, let's real quick set up a render for the House of Cards thing. Game Club Central, rating with a party of 23. We are abusing Minecraft settings. I had my render distance set to 256, which is more than it should be. We're gonna lower that temporarily back down to 32 chunks. Because we're basically breaking Minecraft right now. But thank you, Game Club Central, Surreal, Ping the Net. A lot of recognizable names here. But yeah, we are basically. Hold on. Okay, so we're gonna switch it to my point of view here, and we're gonna jump forward to. Whoops. Uh-oh. We have... Okay, now Minecraft crashed. Trying to re-enable the user interface is what finally crashed it. Yeah, we've basically just been pushing Minecraft to its absolute limits by setting the render distance to 256. So, yeah, I guess let's turn the camera back on since you can't see Minecraft right now anyway. Is the camera back on? No, there it is. Activate. Hi. Yay, success. Okay, Minecraft is back. Okay, so. Yeah, we had, this computer has 32 gigs of RAM and 12 gigs of video RAM, and we were basically using all of it. And the computer does not want you to do that. Okay, so if we jump to, okay, so we were at 78 minutes, and we've been standing there for about 45 minutes. So 78 minus 45. Let's go to here. I paid for that RAM. I might as well use it. Exactly, Fake Zircon. Exactly. Okay. So, yeah, this is where we were standing. And I kind of like the idea of the camera kind of like, here, let's... So we're going for kind of a House of Cards night into day feel. So we want to have the camera... I think, how do they do? I feel like they do a lot of the House of Cards stuff, like straight left to right. It's been years since I watched the show. Right? Can't I just download more RAM? Not quite, yeah. So I think that we want to have it like render from something like here to like there. And we want to set the time index for that to there. And we do need to go adjust the sky because we turned off the sky settings earlier. So we want sun and moon, I think. Apply. We don't want weather. Do we want sky colors? No. Biome colors. Yes. Stars. Okay, so if we turn on the sky... Okay, so we're going to go from here to there. So if I did this right, that should be about here. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So now what we're going to do, I temporarily turned down the render distance while we were setting this up. We're going to save these as House of Cards Sweep 1. Okay. And we're going to do a quick render of this at the short view distance. Or a shorter view distance. Let's maybe not all the way down at 32. Like let's say it to 45 for right now for this quick test. Then we'll do the real render at 256, right? So we're gonna let it pull in a bunch of the chunks, and we're gonna say play from cursor position. And now I don't like the way the sky, the like blue is so weird like that. There's like that weird line here. So hold on. If we options, video settings, render, details, sky. Now will it still render the moon? I guess is my question. Okay, it looks like it's still rendering the moon, but it won't render that extra skybox thing. So the sun's going to go down. Now, when we do the actual proper render here, this will be way further out, but... I think that's a pretty cool thing to... Oh, no. I had that set too close to the end of the file. You never want to set that too close to the end of the file or it goes into this stupid... Yeah, so when we render it out at the 256 distance, it'll look way cooler. Now we're stuck in this weird portal loop because... Did I walk through a portal at the end? I don't think I did, but it was just the time was set too close to the end. So, yeah, 78. Oh, yeah, it's because it's 70. We need to set that to 77. Because that's 7810. So 7759 should be enough. Save. Okay. So, yeah, that was what happened there. We had that set past the end of the file. Okay, so now we're going to come back in and we're going to hit video settings. We're going to go to general and we're going to max that out at 256 chunks. Okay, and then we're going to hit render camera path here. And we're going to hit 3840 by 2160. And then we're going to output that as file, this one, but 4K Delta 1. And we're going to hit save, and then we're going to... Do we want the name tag on? I kind of think having the name tag on is funnier. So then we're going to hit render. And we turned it up to 256, right? I'm going to be really annoyed if I forgot to set that. I think I said it. Oh, this is how tired I am. Anyway, so this should run overnight. Basically. This will take rendering out that distance. So it's going to hang on this screen for about 25 minutes before it starts rendering individual frames. Maybe closer to 30 or 40. Because remember how it had to load all the chunks how long it was taking to load all the chunks? It has to load all the chunks in the first place before it can start rendering the frames. Or it has to load all the chunks that are in the first frame before it starts loading the rest of the frames. So, yeah. So we're basically done for the night. The computer will warm the whole apartment for the evening. So we're gonna let that go. I'll check on this. I'm gonna go clean my kitchen, and if the game crashes between when I start cleaning my kitchen and when I go to bed, I'm gonna turn the settings down to try to render this at 1080p. But the problem is rendering this at 1080p would take about maybe an hour and a half, so it's still gonna get done after I go to sleep. Really, so at that point I might as well set it to 4K and have it be done by the time I wake up in the morning, you know? Fake Zircon says, thanks for the stream, Joe. That was a weird one, or a neat one. Thank you. Yeah, and thank you, Game Club Central. Sorry, you rated me when I was like, I'm doing weird modding stuff with the game, and yeah, it's a weird one. But thank you to Game Club Central Raiders. I wasn't actually working on my Minecraft pinball machine today, just working on renders for the server. Oh boy. So let me see who we can raid. Normally I would raid Quinn on Thursday nights, but Quinn is taking the night off, which is fine. Let's see what's going on. Ooh, lots of people streaming tonight. It looks like LEJ South Carolina is chilling in pinball with Rush since our friend Game Club Central brought so many folks
hold
over.
on.
Whoops, oh, let's mute that. Since Game Club Central brought a bunch of people over here from the pinball community, why don't we go ahead and bring folks back? If you aren't a big fan of Canada, maybe Rush is going to turn you around on it, so I hope you give them a chance. They are from Canada. It's a band, not just a hustle. Every day I'm hustling. But yeah, thank y'all so much for the raid, Game Club Central. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me as we did something a little bit different tonight. Like I said, hopefully the render and some of the screenshots I'll post tomorrow. Because like it's been a crazy week. I need to just clean up the apartment and get ready for bed at this point, and not be on the internet too late. So when you get over there, our raid messages. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills raid here. Alrighty. Well, until next time, y'all. This has been Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do 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 do.